Okay, we're back talking with Brad Lunt from GoatGuns. So, Brad, before the break, you were talking about how, I mean, you had a really, cool over the last 10, 15 years experience in lots of different aspects of entrepreneurship. And it really kind of leads us into where the concept of GoatGuns came from and how you got started with that.
So, as mentioned, I had probably in my 20s like a dozen different affiliate websites or small e-com stores, and I just really was wanting a brand. I really wanted to grow a brand where I'm not reliant on just SEO search, just social, or just paid. Like I wanted. So with GoatGuns, we attack the SEO perspective. We do a lot of social media. We do paid advertising. So that way, because with my alarm review site, if that SEO ever dropped or whatever, there goes my living. And so it is
Yeah.
pretty scary to rely on. So um, I grew up playing first person shooter games. I know a lot of military people also enjoy doing those.
Yeah.
And as of recent, especially like with Fortnite and stuff, you see these companies making billions of dollars or at least millions off of selling digital gun um, skins, is what they call them often.
Mm-hmm.
So my idea was, let's find a way to bring that to real life. If people will be willing to pay $30 to $50 for fake digital stuff, which it's real to them, but it's still fake. And in 5 years, when they're not playing the game, they have nothing to show for their money at that point. If we could bring that into real life. So that's kind of where GoatGuns got started. We've been around for 3 years, and this year we released the M16A1. That was our only new gun on Veterans Day. So,
Oh, cool.
but that's like a true 1/3 scale M16. But from years on out, we plan to do like 3 to 4 gun models per year. Up to this point, it's just mold costs, things like that cost quite a bit, and I've been rolling most all the profits back into the company.
Yeah. So, do your GoatGuns? Goat stands for greatest of all time, as a matter of fact. But
Yes,
it took me about I until I went to your website, I was like, I wonder what GOAT stands for. Where but then there's that sports reporter that came out with a book just recently called Talking to Goats. And then he revealed, yeah, it's because greatest of all time. So that's kind of cool. Do
Yes,
do your scale do your like scale models of rifles and military gear, do they actually operate like the M16A1 that just came out? Does the trigger pull, or does the
yes, all
magazine?
that fun stuff. So the main question we get is, do they shoot? Do they actually fire? And we answer that by saying, like, do Hot Wheels actually drive, or do Test Decks actually skate?
Yeah.
So they do everything but shoot.
Yeah.
All your actions work, the trigger squeezes, you can, like the AR, it builds up just like a real AR-15 would. We have a lot of people like to mix and match these with their real guns.
You can actually dismantle it.
Yes, you
Really?
can, and you can throw on. So like we released the M203 grenade launcher, so you can put that on the bottom. They're all die-cast metal. So the weight, like people really, that's when they're surprised by these, is when they get these in their hand, they're like, whoa, they weigh, 12 to 16 ounces. They're a lot heavier than people would expect them to
Yeah.
be.
And what kind of scale are they?
They're 1/3 scale,
Okay.
about 10 to 14 inches per model. The 1911 is 1.2625,
Wow.
just shy of 1/3.
Being Amazon sellers and having gone through the mold process with several products, especially with Chinese manufacturers and taking products to market like that. What can you talk a little bit about what you learned going through the mold process and how you actually go about doing that? Like where you get the specs for all that and how that, whatever you're willing to share would be
Yeah.
really interesting.
So we get a 3D file. There's lots of places online you can get 3D files from. And then we start the mold process. So it goes to the plastic molds first, and then we work with that, confirm what functions. We do have none of our guns currently cycle rounds, but we're working on with a big gun company actually that came to us at SHOT Show. We're trying to make their guns cycle rounds, but the whole process takes like the 1911 took around 18 months. The M16, we already had a lot of the molds from the AR base made, but to make the rest of them, that took about 9 months. So it does take a little while.
Yeah.
And then the costs, can be anywhere from 30 to 50,000 for one miniaturized gun.
Yeah. Wow. Man. And yeah, I'm even if you're starting with a mold with a manufacturer in China, even if it's something really simple, you can expect it's probably going to take you close to a year, unless you've done something with them before, and maybe it's just a modification of something else you've already done. But yeah, that's unfortunately that's the process. But
a lot of refining that goes into it.
Oh yeah, a lot of tweaking. It just takes a while, but I've never had any luck with American manufacturers. I mean, most of the time they won't even answer my phone call or won't even let me in the door, and I'm like, and then when you do get a quote from them, it's like 10 or 20 times the amount of money to try to get it done overseas.
Yeah, I would love, a lot of people ask, hey, why aren't these made in America? And a lot of military people ask the same.
Right.
And I would love for that. But there is the paradigm shift of like, we employ a lot of, we work with a lot of companies, other companies and agencies, and employ people in America. So there's kind of good that comes from a product out of China.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you talk a little bit about where most of your sales come from, or what your marketing plan is with GoatGuns, and how you make your sales, how you get the idea, the concept in front of your customers, and how that transaction takes place?
Yeah. So like you said, GOAT is greatest of all time. So our goal for GoatGuns is to have the greatest of all time guns. So we're working on some World War II stuff, eventually World War I guns, up to modern era guns that are used in military combat right now. We get sales. So GoatGuns, it's a very nitpicky product. Nobody likes it. Customs don't like them. Social media doesn't like them. Google, Facebook advertising. So it's been a very, like, people that love them are the customers, but they're not the easiest product to promote because the algorithms and the pictures of them, they look very real, unless you see it in the hand or whatever. If you take a picture of just the AR-15, it's easily mistaken for a real one.
Yeah.
So Google and Facebook ad policies prohibit sell firearms. So early on with GoatGuns, I was running some kind of what you'd call gray hat Facebook ads. I was running videos, and then on the videos, I would say goatguns.com overlay, but I wouldn't actually link to GoatGuns or anything. Then a Facebook ad person reached out to me and then actually taught me, hey, you're actually okay to advertise these. These are just toys and you can advertise. So then I reached out to an agency and we set up some stuff. But then that same Facebook ad expert that reached out to me, my ad account got disabled. And so when that happens, you can't run any Facebook ads. So here I am, the Facebook ad specialist came to me and she's like, yeah, come on, advertise with us. Throw your link in, everything will be fine. And you have my number if any of your ads get disabled. I'll just go ahead and log in and clear them through. So I thought I had this like real good in with Facebook. Well, my ad account gets disabled within like a week of throwing in the link because Facebook algorithm just is saying, hey, whoa, GoatGuns, these are guns. No. And then ad expert doesn't return my calls, my emails, nothing. So I'm like so then at least before I could run those gray hats, but now my account's deleted. And that was 2 years ago. And ever since then, it's still been like off and on, like twice this year, my ad account's been disabled, which is still just like a big blow. Like, but we've been able to work with Facebook more closely and get them disabled. But like that was the first time that happened, was very stressful. It lasted 2 months till I got it reactivated. And kind of like I mentioned earlier, I want to not be reliant on any one traffic source too much, but I've tried to advertise these to women on Pinterest. Pinterest blocked them. Reddit, which you would think, I mean, most anything goes on Reddit, right? Well, these
Yeah.
were blocked. I can't advertise these on Reddit.
Wow.
We've had GoatGuns on Instagram. This was a big setback when we first. So I do a lot of influencer stuff. Demolition Ranch actually just posted a video yesterday, which is really funny, on Instagram that you could check out.
Yeah.
But early on, we had Instagram at GoatGuns, and at 65,000 followers, which we started from zero and is very active, our Instagram account got disabled, and we've never gotten it back. That's where we're at goat.guns now. So we've been through the ringer. It seems like, I mean, the product's awesome. People love it, but it's been a tricky one. And it continues to be tricky to advertise. We've had Amazon delete our listings. It seems that no online place.
Dude, I can completely relate to everything you're saying, because we've had several products on Amazon that, like one of them was a cigar case or a cigar carrier, and it doesn't have tobacco. It's just it carries cigars, but when you mention cigar, it's tobacco related. Boom, your listing has been suppressed on Amazon. And then you try to go to Facebook and all these other places to advertise your cigar carrier. Oh, it's tobacco related. We can't do it. Not doing it. And I've thought, going way back to even the beginnings of this podcast, I never really could prove it, but I always suspected that oftentimes military related subject matter things, whether they're podcasts, blogs, anything, even if they're totally innocent, but just because they're related to the military. I don't really want to go political here, and that's what I'm not trying to do, but I think that there's this general consensus, and let's face it, most people haven't been in the U.S. military, and a lot of people don't even know anybody that's ever been in the military. So the population, the military folks are outnumbered as far as population is concerned, and I think that, like I would post things on certain platforms, and I'd expect to get like at least a little bit of traffic, and it would like be nothing. And I don't necessarily know that things were being suppressed, but they're definitely not being promoted. And you could call that a form of suppressing something, I suppose. And like, just, especially with all the political and the election and everything, some of that has become blatantly obvious, on that things are getting suppressed or favored or whatever, whether it's for political purposes or not. And I don't doubt at all that military related subject matter type things that are out there don't take off as much as your neutral stuff, I guess you could say. And I wanted to ask you, because we're talking about this, what, Parler has made, isn't Parler like an alternative to Facebook that they promise they won't? I think it might even be a military guy that started it. He was on the news the other day, but I don't remember what his name was. And then there's a YouTube type substitute website that's also come out. That guy,
like a gun one, or
no, it's like Parler is kind of akin to Facebook, I've been told. I don't even have a Parler account, so but I might be getting one because I'm curious. And the other one is a YouTube, kind of a YouTube replacement. You can put podcasts and YouTube and your own videos on it, and it's not necessarily free and clear, but it's definitely not going to suppress things like because you have gun videos and stuff on there, like YouTube will do to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll think of it here in a minute. You don't know what I'm talking about?
I have seen like a gun tubes. Similar, it was like just for firearms on a YouTube version of firearms.
Yeah. I'll try to
Sounds
think.
like this is different.
Yeah, I'll try to think of the name of it. It wasn't specifically for firearms. This is like everything in general. But that Dan Bongino guy, I think he used to be like in the CIA or something. But
Nice.
I think he's big political. He's got a big political podcast nowadays. He let me see here. Actually, a buddy of mine. Oh, it's called the YouTube. The alternative YouTube is called Rumble.
Rumble.
Like,
Okay. No, I
let's
haven't
get
heard
ready
of
to
that yet.
rumble. So
Nice.
I like a buddy of mine was like, you need to put your podcast on Rumble. I'm like,
Okay.
okay. So I went and looked. I started up an account and I posted my last episode that released. I posted it on Rumble just to kind of see what it was like. So it's similar. It's kind of similar to YouTube, probably not quite as sophisticated, but Rumble and Parler are like two new sites that have come about. They've been around for a while, but they're getting a lot of attention because people are tired of being censored. Like I know a lot of guys that get put in Facebook jail, a lot of military guys, because they're out hunting and they put. I mean, even if they post like a picture of themselves with an elk that they just killed, or a nice buck, or they got 10 rabbits laying in front of them on the ground, and hey, good day rabbit hunting, and they'll get put in Facebook jail for just, you never know what's going to offend somebody. And these are guys that aren't even like trying to be political about things. They're just posting normal stuff that they do, but all of a sudden anything to do with guns or killing animals or fishing and showing a dead fish. I mean, it's kind of getting ridiculous to the point how much stuff does actually get censored. And I don't know what.
Yeah, but I think online marketing is just a continual battle against the algorithm, and that goes across every social platform, Google SEO too. Like you're just always trying to, and that's with Amazon too. Like it's kind of all algorithm game, and learn like in our Facebook ads, we try to not call these guns ever, because that's the algorithm you're up against. It's going to block anything that says guns, firearms, etc. So you kind of just have to craft your marketing in the best if you want to be on that platform. And for us, it's a profitable platform, so we still do. But it's good to see some, this Rumble, some other stuff coming out where people can. For maybe it's even better for personal videos and a personal social. Like it's nice to see something that doesn't get hindered. How long that lasts, like hopefully that stays the same. I don't know if they ever get bought out and then eventually it's
Facebook buys them. Facebook buys them and just makes them go away.
Exactly, because early days of Instagram before Facebook bought them, our stuff would pop off, and they're just always tweaking stuff. So
yeah, I mean it's interesting. I remember years ago, like I used to listen to Pat Flynn all the time, and he was big on starting up a website and working the Google algorithm as far as SEO and all that. And then every time Google came out with a new algorithm, like he'd be making really good money off a particular content type website where he basically just put content. Like he did this competition one time where he was going to do a competition with one of his fans on who could start up a website and get the most traffic or something like that. Okay. And he came out with his concept was he started one called trucker.com, which was like TRUCKR.com. And it was all about food trucks. He determined there was a big niche a rising niche for food trucks, but there was no one place to go for food truck resources, like where to buy a food truck or where to buy things to go in your food truck or how to market your food truck. So he developed his whole website centered around food trucks, even though he knew nothing about food trucks, just to stand up the website to drive traffic to it to make advertising money. And
Yep.
so I used to listen to that stuff all the time. I was fascinated with that, and I think I might have even made a couple feeble attempts about some similar things. But um, when you'd get it running just right, and then when Google would change the algorithm, he could be making a few $1,000s a month off one website, and all of a sudden, ding, it goes to zero one day, and you're like, what happened? Like, oh, Google came out with a new algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but it's one of the online e-commerce fights that you got.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. If you've done online, you've taken hits.
Yeah. So, getting back to marketing Goat Guns, other than finding ways around the restrictive algorithms of all the big platforms that are out there, what are some of the other things that have been able to work consistently for you throughout?
Offline marketing. So our motto is have a little fun. We try to just have fun. So like this Christmas, we'll have a little card mailer from. We use our sergeant gunner a lot, and he's like an old kind of sassy. He's a military sergeant, so he's got a little spunk to him. But we try to have fun with him. So I think people should take note to offline marketing a lot too. Try to get your customers to talk. We have a 2021 calendar that's like 12 pictures, 12 pages of Sergeant Gunner in different it's honestly hilarious. And so our top fans, we'll send that out this coming 2 months, and that will really get a lot of offline talk as well. So
Yeah.
I think it's good to remember offline is nowhere near dead, and it never will be. And that's how you're going to get your best sales, which is word of mouth. So
And does offline include email marketing and list building? Are you building your email list, or is it just snail mail type stuff?
Well, when I say offline, I mean like nothing online, but yeah, we're building email lists continually and always trying to kind of have fun there. We've done some Instagram filters, so we've tried some of that AR stuff. So I think it's just continually trying stuff. TikTok right now is working really good. We've had a lot of creator videos that have hit like millions. We even just did one of our pistol 1911. A guy Cerakoted it into a Deadpool, and that got I think it's at 4.3 million views.
Huh.
So that's done really well. But then same thing with TikTok. They won't let us advertise, and then it seems like every other one of our posts gets disabled for violating community. It's like illegal soliciting illegal activities or something for a tiny toy gun. So I'm pretty sure our TikTok will probably be deleted at some point too, and I don't want to get too attached to it.
Yeah, like Xbox. You mentioned Fortnite earlier. Grand Theft Auto and all the other, Halo, all the other phenomenal games out there that are nothing but weapons and shooting. How do they advertise?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure they have their battles too.
Wow. Well, hey, Brad, we're getting close to the end of our time. If somebody wants to check out some of your cool Goat Guns, where do they find you? Am I allowed to say gun? Oh, it is one of the podcasts.
Hey, podcast.
Maybe I can say gun. I don't know.
You can beep it out every time we say
okay.
it.
Goat beep.
Yeah. So yeah, goatguns.com, greatest of all time, guns.com.
Awesome. So in your entrepreneurial experiences over the years, and especially with Goat Guns, if you're talking to somebody that's looking forward to getting out of the military, someone getting into entrepreneurship, what kind of advice would you have for them? What comes to mind?
I'd say reach out to try to find somebody in the niche that you're doing. I just started doing a little mentoring through Warrior Rising, which is I'm talking with a guy, a veteran-owned business, and that person's doing some like engraving. So I was trying to help them promote it more on Facebook and help him come up with, because of COVID, their trade shows avenue has been taken away. So, okay, how can we get this in front of eyes on other people through Facebook or Instagram? But yeah, I would say try to, and also a big thing for me was try to find something that you're passionate about. I mentioned this earlier in the podcast, but I wasn't too passionate about any of those other websites. They were always just a means to an end, but I really enjoy doing GoatGuns. I have fun with it, and it makes working on it, it makes spending those long entrepreneur hours easier when you enjoy the product. So I'd say, kind of do a deep dive, make sure it's something that you enjoy pushing and grinding out, because
Mhm.
it is a bit of a ride, but it's very rewarding once you're up and going.
Awesome. Well, hey, Brad, thanks for sharing your entrepreneurial success story. We look forward to seeing your future success with GoatGuns. I appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir, Joe. Thank you for what you do.
All right. Sounds good. We'll talk to you later. We're out.